Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. My name is KevBot, and in today's video, I will be doing a review and unboxing of the new Beadle Grimm's DM Vault for Dragon Delves Adventure Anthology. If you've seen my other videos for the review of Dragon Delves, as well as my review of the Planescape box set, you will know that I'm a big fan of both the Dragon Delves Adventure and the Beadle Grimm DM Vault products. So with that said, I'm super excited to get into this. Now, this review and unboxing may contain some small spoilers, especially in the part when I'm reviewing the maps. So if you are a player, or if you're thinking about playing in these adventures in the future, I recommend skipping down to the timestamp down below to get my final thoughts on this product. But for everybody else, there's a ton to get into, so let's get started. So opening up this box set, the first thing that we get is this sheet, this little overview. There's a note, again, from Bill, Charlie, John, Matt, and Paul, talking about how excited they are for this release. They mention that this is the first release for the 2024 rule set by Beadle Grimm, which I actually don't think is completely accurate because the Dungeon Master map set that they released, I think, is actually for the 2024 Dungeon Master Guide, but maybe they mean that this is for the first adventure of the 2024 rule set. They talk about the contents of the box. There are 22 maps, 28 encounter cards, 3 player maps, 4 in-world handouts, an artifact, and a Dungeon Master aid. Again, just like the Planescape box set, these DM vaults don't have the adventure itself inside of them. So if you want to run any of these adventures, you will also need the Dragon Delves book to go along with it. The next item in here is the DM aid for a single ongoing campaign. Now, if you saw my review of Dragon Delves, you'll know that I was happy with the different ways that they have in the book to run this as a single adventure. But this really actually takes the cake. The expansion that they have on here for combining all this into one ongoing campaign goes into way more detail than what's even provided. There's different ways that you could have it all run into the same campaign using the different factions, such as the Harpers, the Lord's Alliance, the Gentarum. There is a section on different subclasses and how different subclasses could be used really well in this campaign to tie it all together. Different bonds, depending on what your class or what your ancestry is, and also different ways to tie it directly into these different adventures. It almost seems like they went through some of the examples in the Xanathar's guide for different group patrons or different ways to tie characters into the campaign. But there are so many good examples in here on how to both tie it all together into a single adventure, as well as tie individual characters in. And that could be useful even if you are running these as one-shots. Next, we have some map handouts for the players. Again, it's printed on really nice paper, and on the back, it says which adventure it's tied for. So this one is for Before the Storm, which is Chapter 7. And then here we have, this one is for Chapter 9, A Copper for a Song. And this handout is for Chapter 6, The Forbidden Veil. Really high quality paper, as always, as I come to expect from Beadle Grimm products. Next, we have the player handouts. So we have this handout here. This one is for the Burning Circle recipe for Dragon Slumber Concoction. Here we have a letter. We have Copper for a Song. And then this handout, they actually provide 2 handouts for the Temple of Orcus. This would be for the Chapter 3 adventure. Now, all 4 of these handouts are great. Again, a really high quality paper, very nice printings, great things to hand out to players. My only criticism that I would have is that there are only 4 different handouts, which means that there is one handout for 4 of the different chapters in the book. Why this is a criticism for me is simply because this is an anthology book. So while some people will run this anthology book as a full campaign, other people will run it for just 1 or 2 chapters. And there are 4 handouts here, so that is 4 out of 10 chapters. Almost half of the chapters have a handout, but it would be nice to see 1 handout for each of the chapters, so that way, no matter which chapter you're planning on running, you would have a handout for the party. Again, nothing wrong with these handouts. I think that they're fantastic. I would just like to see a little bit more. Next up, we have all of the different maps in the box set. Now, where my criticism for the handouts was that there was only one handout for 4 different adventures, the maps have you completely covered, where you have all of the maps for all 10 of the adventures. So this is great. No matter which adventure you are planning on running, you're going to have a full-size map. And I say full-size map because, again, you can see that it is the full 1-inch grid. I've decided that to show off these maps, I'm going to include some B-roll footage of the maps fully laid out with different minis on the map that correspond with each adventure. So if you are a player or if you're planning on playing in one of these adventures in the future, again, I highly recommend skipping this part because there will be spoilers. You will see the monsters in each adventure. You can skip to the time code down below to either get to the next section or to my final conclusions. So as you can see, all of these maps are awesome, really cool, great to just throw down the table, throw some minis on, or whatever else you might use. The next section probably has my favorite item in the entire set, and that, of course, is this necklace for Orcus. This would go along with the chapter 3, The Will of Orcus. Really, really, really cool. I love these fun trinkets. It's got some heft to it. It's got some weight to it. It looks wonderful. I can't wait to maybe wear it while DMing that adventure. I know the players at my table are going to think something like this is really cool. And it's just like a cool, fun trinket to have. I have my Wand of Orcus up here, so I know that when I'm not running this adventure, so for most of the time, I'm probably going to have it up beside the Wand of Orcus, just to kind of have like my little Orcus corner up here. And finally, as we see in pretty much every Beadle Grimm box set, we have these encounter cards. Again, these are bifolded, so they are designed to put over top of the Dungeon Master screen. And on the one side, there's the artwork for the players, and on the other side, there's the stat block for the Dungeon Master. I really like how at the bottom, it says which chapter each of these cards is for, so you can go through ahead of time and just pull out the cards that you need for whichever adventure you're running. Not much to say about these that I haven't already said in other reviews. These are awesome. I'm surprised that Wizards of the Coast doesn't print them because they're great to have, and I wish I could just get every monster in a set of these to throw over the DM screen. But with that said, I'm really glad that Beadle Grimm includes this stuff. It's these tiny little things that make running adventures just a little bit easier for Dungeon Masters. And so that's it. That's my review and unboxing of the Beadle Grimm's DM Vault Dragon Delves Adventure Anthology. Overall, I think this product is awesome. I love the maps and how they included maps for all the different adventures. The handouts are really cool. The chain for Orcus is awesome. My only small criticism that I might have for this is I wish that there were more handouts. It would be nice if every chapter of all 10 chapters had a handout that you could give to the players, so that way, no matter which chapter you wanted to run in this adventure anthology, there'd be something to hand out. It is one of my favorite things to do as a dungeon master, is to hand out physical items to players for each adventure. But that is a small criticism that I have, mainly just saying that everything in here is great. I do wish that there was just a little bit more. Speaking of, you may notice that this box set is a little bit smaller than most Beadle & Grimm box sets. It doesn't have that same heft and weight that my tin had for the Planescape box set, or that you might expect from the premium box sets. But it's nothing really to worry about. It's not like a case of shrinkflation or anything like that. This box set is much cheaper than all the other box sets, and I think that is a reflection of it having just a little bit less inside of it. So overall, I absolutely think that this is worth your money, especially if you are planning on running one or a couple of these different adventures. So let me know what you think of the Beadle & Grimm DM Vault for the Dragon Delves Adventure Anthology. Is this something that you think that you might want to buy to help to run the game at your table? What's your favorite aspect of it, or something that you wish that would have also been included? Let me know in those comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Now get out there and slay a dragon.